Baby then confronts him and he's like, Dad. She's like, Dad,
Stop!
you
making
told
fun
me.
of everything.
That's what we do on the podcast.
Not this movie!
Not this movie. This is what our podcast is. You make fun of the movies. We have fun.
We're getting a divorce.
I've been having so much fun in this episode, and you're just like, yeah.
There are certain movies that you just don't touch. Because I don't want them to be victims of yours. I want them to...
I like this movie. It's a silly movie, and it's
this movie
kind of shabby movie.
like Lisa. And this movie is a baby.
Hello, this is Load Bearing Beams.
Hi.
Good to see you. How you doing?
Take two. Hi.
Hey.
No, just me. You were fine. Take three. Hi.
Hi. Oh, fuck.
Okay. Take four.
Hello there.
No, it's just me. It's fine. We'll fix it in post. All right. I'm Laci Roth.
What are we fixing? Your word hi?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I needed a few takes. All right. I'm Laci Roth.
I am Matt Stokes. Come on this dance with us.
This is Load Bearing Beams. Today is my movie, 1987's Dirty Dancing. That is why I look just like Baby. I'm kidding, I don't. This is the most baby conjuring outfit I could find in my closet. I'm cold. This is a cold day. My hair looks like this. And this is why when me and my cousins would act out the entirety of this movie, I would play Johnny. This is why. Okay.
Why? Because you're hideous?
No, I don't project Baby. I project.
What does it mean to project Baby?
Oh,
and what
like
are you not doing?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like I put into words. It's a feeling. It's a.
No, everybody's going to see this. This hot lady is talking about how she's not hot. It's annoying.
I just think I pull off masculine better than feminine. And okay, whatever. Johnny is sexy in a lady way as well. Mm-hmm. He's got a.
That's why it works.
So he's a dancer.
That's why
right?
Johnny and Baby are happily married to this day.
Okay. Well, dancing.
Denying COVID and storming the Capitol and everything today.
Why does everyone in your imagination have something to do with January 6th?
Yeah, it's a good question.
It happens a lot.
But I mean, this isn't imaginary. This really happened. But we'll explain it. We found out a lot about Baby and Johnny in their later years. We'll share it all with you. But yeah, Load Bearing Beams. We're at episode 99, and this is 2024. We're recording this New Year's Day, 2024. Laci, are you looking forward to 1 year from now when President-elect Trump is about to bring back fascism?
Boy, howdy.
Yeah, promises to be a great year, huh?
You really know how to lift a girl's spirits. Okay.
Yeah.
So next week's episode.
So next week.
That was your dance space. I invaded it.
You did, yeah.
Like this movie's going to invade my fucking eyes next week.
Put you in the corner. Okay, yeah. So our very first episode, we keep saying this, we'll say it again. For all you Dirty Dancing fans for whom this is their first time ever listening to our show, this is a show where Laci and I, who are married, we pick a movie and we watch it and make the other watch it, and then we get into it. We fight about it.
And we make the other one watch a movie that is important to us, that we grasped onto as children, as teenagers, and that we have some distance from. But it's important. And it's important that it still hold up and be good. And you have to watch your partner watch it for the first time and then plead your case. You always leave out why this is interesting. I could just pick any movie and be like, watch it, Matt.
I'm giving the most abbreviated version I can. Listen to our old episodes. We spend so much time explaining the premise.
All right, fine.
You don't need to explain it. Just but married movie, go.
Cut all this out then.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
And our very first episode was about the movies Dirty Dancing and Star Wars, and now we're at 99 and 200, or 99 and 100.
Episodes 99 and 100.
And we're going to go back to the beginning. We're going to revisit first Dirty Dancing. That's what we did for the thing we're about to talk about. You'll hear it all and see it all. But next week,
have we gotten good.
Next week it'll be Star Wars. I am agonizing over what cut to show Laci. Do I show the dreaded special edition that is, the only edition you can actually legally watch, the one with the horrendous CGI
to show me
creatures
your best.
And stuff?
Captivate me.
Or do I show the bootleg 4K 77 fan edit that takes away all the special edition
I'm
stuff?
sorry, a fan edited it?
So there's a whole really interesting documentary about how they did it, and it looks great. And I'm going to need your attitude to
I'm going to need an
improve
adjust.
a little bit.
All right. Fair.
So the conundrum is, do I show the 4K 77? In other words, the theatrical cut. I have access to an illegal 4K edition of the theatrical cut.
Very legal.
Or, the one that's on Disney Plus, or on the 4K Blu-ray is, the most recent one where Greedo says McClunky and there's a terrible CGI Jabba and Han doesn't shoot first and all of that.
Okay.
Now I doubt Laci will care about any of it. The thing is, I think that sort of the shabbiness of the original might.
I just like compelling characters who are good at acting.
I don't want that. I don't want the shabbiness is what's charming to me. I don't want it to turn you off. Like if you just turned on Star Wars on Disney Plus and didn't know it had been edited, had been digitally updated, you'd just be like, wow, this looks incredible. Probably. That's what I think most people would do. And so since you don't have this sort of history of,
I will not.
I know what it used to look like, and that's what I want it to look like again. Do I make you watch that version, or
give me your best shot?
That's what I'm trying to
Shoot
figure
your
out.
shot.
I don't know what's
figure
better.
Figure it out in your own time, man.
Sorry to.
I guess we could workshop
make everybody listen to me.
Well, we could turn that into a little question we pose, right? Make a little vid, a little. That's what we'll do.
Some things are too important to leave to a vote. Sometimes democracy doesn't work.
Okay, I thought we were workshopping this. Dirty dancing.
Okay, Dirty Dancing, 1987. I guess you should not listen to our first episode. I did not. I don't want to revisit it.
Stop mentioning it. Actually.
And I'm sure we go a lot into our history, but we'll do it again. Laci, what's your history with Dirty Dancing?
I almost don't want to. It is the titular load-bearing beam. It is what started the whole wheels in motion for this podcast. It is a movie I know backwards and forwards. I watched so many times growing up, and as I said, acted it out. That really puts it in your head. It feels like I was there. I was at Kellerman's. Was I Bobby? Was I Janie? Neither of those people are real. Was I Johnny?
Were you Robbie?
Or Baby? I was certainly not Robbie.
Were you Penny?
Maybe. That's possible.
Were you Mr. Kellerman, or were you Tito, the band leader?
Who I relate to the most is Johnny's cousin, who you see 3 or 4 times in the beginning and then never again.
Who is he? Who is Johnny's cousin? Is he the guy with the watermelon?
The guy with the watermelons.
Okay.
That's who I'd be in this scenario.
Sure. All right.
Anyway, it had been 10 to 15 years since I had actually last laid eyes on it, and it would have been my 3rd or 4th strike showing you a movie that I cared about and I wanted you to see it. And I couldn't bear the thought of it being bad too. So I was like, no, we shan't. We shan't even look at it because it's foundational, blah, 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 blah. That's my Dirty Dancing is important to me. The soundtrack is very nostalgic to me. I almost don't even like to think of Jennifer Grey and Patrick Swayze as existing outside of this movie. I almost resent that they have other roles because they are this. But I sort of changed my mind after watching Point Break. We'll get into that.
What happened when we did the first episode?
There's no way I remember that 7 years ago. I think I let you poison me, Matt. I think I might have changed my mind a little bit about how much I liked it. So I did think going into it this time that I would even like it less. I was worried about that. Mm-hmm. But I think I liked it the most I've ever liked it this time.
On that 2017 episode, your verdict was this is a bad movie.
I thought you didn't listen to it, Matt.
But I remember. I have the notes. I have the thumbs down on my spreadsheet.
All right, well, I've changed my mind. I've completely done
a 360.
No, it's 180. Yeah, it's a 3. It is a 3. This is the one time it's a 360.
Yeah, because you went all the way back.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I know it, and I did that. So I was an idiot, and I let you persuade me. I know why I like this movie, and it's deeper than just dancing.
My history is that I saw it for the first time in 2017 and shat all over it. I said I took this movie to the tool shed and drilled with power drills into it. Look how shitty it is. Now I remember a lot of my complaints, and I probably wouldn't stand by them. I really didn't like it at the time. It's kind of shittily made, I thought.
Did you?
I still think it's kind of shittily made. So I didn't know what to expect going in this time. I knew I had the agenda of knocking Laci's movie down last time because I knew she was going to knock my movie down, and that's not fair. Not that I didn't it wasn't, I was accurately, I was explaining what I really felt. It's not like I'm going extra critical. In some ways I'm less critical of movies now. In some ways I'm way more critical today in my older age. Now, what we usually do is we predict, how are we going to think about the movie this time? What do we think we're going to think this time is what we do. So we each record, except this time where Laci didn't do her job of recording her pre-movie thoughts.
You didn't do your job of reminding me to do it.
It's not my job to tell you to do it.
You're the producer of this podcast, so I'd say it is.
Now, let me just say ahead of my predictions, I sound fucking insane on this thing that I recorded like a week ago.
Now I'm actually excited.
Okay, what to say about Dirty Dancing? Well, it's tough. What can you say about Dirty Dancing? I think one thing you can say is that you shouldn't call your adult baby. But another thing is that I have this sort of snobby thing that I tell myself about film, about cinema, which is like, I don't care about a premise of a movie. I don't care about the plot of a movie. I don't care what the movie's about. If it's a good film, that's all that matters. But I also acknowledge not every movie is for everybody. Not every movie has to be for me. And I do kind of have a built-in bias against movies centered on dance because I don't understand dancing. It's not something I relate to. So that pushes up against my snobbish, all movies are for everybody, and if a thing is honestly told and made well and made with purity and integrity, then it pushes through and I like it. I don't remember anything good about Dirty Dancing, but so many people love it, so I'm certain I like it more than when we talked about it 7 years ago. And we've also learned, you hope that you are different from who you were 7 years ago, and that you're smarter, and that you're, have just some more grace and more understanding and empathy and just an evolved way of thinking. So this movie means so much to so many people. I think I will like it more. I've seen more Patrick Swayze movies in the past 7 years, so maybe he'll work for me more than he did 7 years ago. And, doing a little research on the movie and, I don't know, abortion. Who knows? We'll see. My prediction is I'll like it more, but still will ultimately conclude, not necessarily for me, but a perfectly fine picture. Yeah. I think that if I have an issue with the movie, it's like I'm kind of seeing the movie that's not there with Dirty Dancing.
You often have that issue, and I think something that other people don't. I look at something and I take it for exactly what it is, and you see choices that weren't made and could have. You always leave a movie theater and you tell me where something was missing, and you're almost always, who knows if you're right, but I almost always agree with you. And I just want, I don't know.
But the job is like, you respond to the movie that's there, but I guess the lens I'm viewing it through is like, here's what didn't work about it for me. And for me, it's like, with this movie is like, shouldn't it be sexier, more romantic? Like, I feel, and we'll get into the history of the two sort of creative forces and how I feel like they're kind of at odds with what they want the movie to be. I
did feel like the movie needed to be, it was about a young person's sexual awakening and about a country changing and having their own sexual awakening. So I guess it felt, to me, it's always made sense that it's prudish in one sense, and then all the sexy stuff happens behind closed doors in cabins with no mosquito netting.
That's what I'm saying. No. That's, you got these two big sexy people and the camera's just like keeping a respectful distance. Like, not for me. No, thank you. No, you need to be like getting in there with them and real sensual,
it wouldn't have been a movie I would have had access to at such a young age. It would have changed everything. It would have, the appeal about it and its universal love, I think, is because it was safe and wholesome, and is a movie about sex that was also okay to show your children.
Well, yes, and that I'm sure that's true. Yes, the movie that I want to see would not be for mainstream audiences.
The movie you want to see is Havana Nights. I'm kidding. I have no idea what that movie.
But it's not like, it's not my problem if this wholesome movie would no longer be for kids. But look, I'm literally just talking about the filmmaking. I'm talking about the way they're shot. Yeah. I feel like they could. I don't feel any sex coming out of this movie.
But we are at a disadvantage because and I don't know how I didn't realize this before. I probably just thought I made it up. But when Patrick Swayze gets out of bed after the second time they have sex, and she asks him if he's had many women, and he gets up and he's kind of huffy and he puts on his pants, I know that in the HBO version of this movie that I saw over and over and over again, we saw his butt. I remember thinking, that's what boy butts look like. They are perfectly round and tan and muscular. And then it didn't happen in this movie. And that's when I realized, what cut are we watching? And then you noticed at some point, Dr. Hausman, Baby's dad, he's saying something maybe on the porch to Johnny. And it sounds totally like it's just dubbed over with.
But that's not, I didn't mean like this is a different cut. I mean that the actual cut of the movie just has some ADR, and it's really bad because you're seeing him shot in such a way that you see his little like cheeks flapping.
Yeah, it's
which is
flapping.
not usually what you see. You just cut to coverage and have the actor say something different.
But I would not be surprised if they did some sort of just trimming away at the edges that only a super fan would notice, though it took me some time to figure it out.
So look, I didn't do extensive Googling, but I could not find like different editions of the movie. And I love different editions of the movie. I went crazy with all the weird things that were in one version of Jingle All the Way and not in the other. But I have not seen this. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. It very could.
All right. I just thought maybe we were even seeing even a more wholesome, prudish version of the movie. That's fine.
It could, like, when I grew up, in Steven Spielberg's Jaws, right before Roy Scheider shoots the shark at the end, he says, "Smile, you son of a bitch," and shoots him. Every time I've watched it as an adult, it goes, "Smile, you son of a," and then the gunshot immediately then. And it took me a million times watching it, and I was like, I guess I just filled in the blank in my head that he says bitch. Until a few years ago, I watched Jaws: The Revenge for the first time since I was a kid, where they then cut back to the flashback of Roy Scheider shooting the shark, and he says bitch. And then I went and realized, this movie, every edition has been edited to remove the word bitch at the end. Disgusting. And it's not like this doesn't get the attention of like the Star Wars edits or whatever. And this happens with every movie. It's just sometimes silly. It's more well known than not.
You're not even changing the rating. Bitch is okay.
Yeah, he's like
what are you even doing it for?
Did Spielberg make that call? Did somebody else?
Why? Because there's also a gunshot at the same time. We can only do one bad thing at a time. We're going to go pow, and that'll be bitchy enough.
Or was it like, no, it's more powerful if he doesn't say bitch?
I guess. It's more real if he does.
But it would be fascinating if you never actually saw Patrick Swayze's butt. This would be like the people who swear that you see Gwyneth Paltrow's head in Seven, her severed head in Seven, when you never have. But people are like, no, I saw it in theaters, and then they took it out for the home video release.
Now I believe it.
Yeah.
Now I can see it. I can see the top of her blonde hair.
Okay, we're going to talk about the history of Dirty Dancing. A lot of history we have to get to. So here it is. In 1873, President Grant signed into law the Comstock, a series of laws called the Comstock Laws. Now, what were these? They were basically the first federal level legislation addressing abortion. It was a federal abortion ban in the United States. 1873. Basically, until then, abortion was legal in the United States. There were state level bans that had been going into effect, but abortion was legal and pretty common in the United States in the 19th century. And I took a lot of this from this book I highly recommend by Jenny Brown, Without Apology, The Abortion Struggle Now. Why am I saying any of this? So attitudes toward abortion is as old as medicine itself, and attitudes about abortion change constantly, often in response to other things going on at the same time. In the 19th century, the number of children that the average woman had went down from 8 to 4, and abortion was a big part of that.
Thank fucking God.
And this was the 19th century. So
how do you even there's a whole generations of children that just never even experienced being loved by their fucking parent. After you shoot out the fifth one, okay, people are going to not like that comment. Fifth babies, I'm sure you're loved, but it's God.
The point of all of this is these attitudes toward abortion, they change all the time. Society is more approving or welcoming or tolerant of them, and then it goes up and down. It's not a straight line. It's not like abortion used to be really restricted and is now not. And so what this law, what the 1873 law did was ban abortion and contraception. They were considered the same thing, and outlawed the sharing of information via U.S. mail, anything about abortion, contraception, or sex in general. and it gave law enforcement the ability to raid doctors' offices, raid bookstores and libraries. You have sexually explicit material, something that is literally happening right now. Like there was a cop in Massachusetts who invaded a school library because they had the book Genderqueer.
He invaded it and then did what?
We just like raided. I got a hot tip that you have this book here, and now I want to go find the proof. Here it is, and then removed it and took it to jail or whatever.
Well, then he's not going to check it back in, and he's going to rack up a lot of fines. So, haha.
Joke's on him.
Boom.
These attitudes, they come and go, they change, and it doesn't happen in a straight line. Like you would think, well, abortion obviously always was illegal until Roe versus Wade. No, it was legal for 100 years and then was made illegal. And then in the movie Dirty Dancing in 1963, the time it's set, it was still illegal. New York State didn't allow abortion until 1970. And then 3 years after that, Roe versus Wade comes out and decriminalizes it across the country.
Okay.
That's the climate of the movie at the time. The woman who wrote the screenplay for Dirty Dancing, Eleanor Bergstein, who is basically Baby, she's the real life Baby.
Okay.
Has given a million interviews about this movie, and she always brings up, for the longest time when I would give interviews, people would say, why did you need to have the abortion in the movie? Like we have Roe versus Wade. Like what is this? What relevance does this have? Is that this woman had to get an illegal back alley abortion? And she said, like, you never know. You don't know what the future brings. You could easily go backward.
But wait a second. Why should you need relevance in the current timeline for it to be a story worth telling? People who had these kind of limitations back then deserve their stories to be told. That's so stupid. Stupid.
Yeah, I wonder if she actually got it asked, like, why do you need this in the movie?
Let me build this straw man real quick so I can give you my answer.
But that's what she's saying. And obviously when we did this movie in 2017, we didn't know that 7 years later we'd be back to before Roe versus Wade. Okay. And I wanted to foreground all of that because I was just really impressed this time that this movie's plot hinges on an abortion. I didn't remember it as being so central. It is it's like the MacGuffin of the movie. The abortion causes everything to happen.
There are no reasons for either of them to meet up and have to do anything together, or for him to get any kind of like softening toward Baby, or for Penny to start to be more accepting of Baby. And anyway, it all depends on what happens because of this abortion.
And she knew that Bergstein, the screenwriter, assumed that the studio at some point would say, let's get rid of this. By the time that happened in the editing process, she said, I'd love to get rid of it, but like everything in the movie hinges on it. Like it drives the plot, so we can't take it out. And they're like, oh, you're right. Okay, I guess you're right. And so that was pretty clever. Like instead of having it as background dressing,
right,
make it something that if you take it out, the whole thing falls apart. Because there's other things, like there's other political things that sort of get hinted at of Vietnam and the Civil Rights Act or Civil Rights Movement.
I'm sorry, you said that she's the real life Baby, but does that mean did she have a dancing background, or did she get trained?
She did get trained. But
did she end up becoming a dancer, or just
no? Okay. No, writer and screenwriter.
I was just specifically for people who have a career that's based on their youth, their physical mobility because they're young usually, and their ability to travel, which is mentioned many times in this movie, that these people are seasonal workers. The dance people go from gig to gig, and I'm sure there's long periods of like not getting any money at all, and it entirely depends on them being unattached and having the mobility to do it. It would be insanely, it would ruin Penny's life. Penny's life to have a baby. Her body, her ability to try. I mean, it's not nothing. It needed to. Penny needed to be that upset and crying, and I didn't always understand why she was so upset. It's like, it's just a baby. I was a baby. I'm a pleasure. But it's like, no, this is going to ruin your fucking life.
And that's before she has the very dangerous illegal abortion that threatens her life.
She's not crying because she's scared of having the abortion. She's crying because she knows that like this is going to be the end of everything. And she got kicked out of the house when she was 16, and she's been surviving with a ragtag group of dancers ever since. And her, she's got no like education to fall back on. She used to be a Rockette. They mentioned that, but it's like used to be. So I mean, youth is like that in this industry.
Yes, and you also see that Ronnie, the guy who gets her Robbie, who gets her in trouble, he's going to be fine.
Right. They make it a point. These are all Yale and Harvard people already in college. And I never noticed this before, but the owner, Kellerman, specifically hires these guys that are like, mom and dad approved, to have the right religious background and have the right career path. So just in case they fuck their daughters or your wife, don't worry.
They're nice boys.
We have tested these, but he all but says definitely fuck them. So
we kind of disagreed about that. I'm going to go watch it again.
Okay.
See what I think he's. I think he's saying like titillate them, like when they used to say make love back in the day. Go and make love to her, which just meant like go take her by a lake and read sonnets to her.
Penis and
no penises need to come out.
Just show her the penis. What will it look like? I'm just saying it'd be very nice of him if, like, before you have sex, they would just show it to you just a couple times, so it's not like the first time, and you're like, okay, I know better. Him.
Yeah,
I know this.
Yeah, if we were like frogs or something and just had literal rituals, things would be easier.
Do frogs have little sex rituals?
I don't know if frog. I mean, I assume
I got excited.
Animals, the mating dance, the mating ritual.
Oh, birds.
This is what we do. I wasn't thinking birds. I was thinking frogs, or I wasn't thinking frogs.
Sexy
I was thinking
frog
birds.
Rituals.
So that this time, and I'm sure that watching it in the time period is a big factor. Watching it in a post Dobbs world, now you're like, this is way more powerful now that it's showing an abortion, an illegal abortion, and how that's dangerous, and this nearly destroys Penny's. I mean, like literally almost ends her life because it's botched, and then Baby has to get her dad to come in and save Penny's life. And I like that there is nothing at all about Baby that is like, oh, I don't know, is abortion unethical? Am I going to be a baby killer? She just knows it's the right thing to do and does it.
You and I both, I said it, but we both kind of felt it. Like, Johnny's too interesting for Baby. I've always bought it, though. And it felt very Bella and Edward. It felt very Twilight. Like, what do these guys talk about? Whatever. I've always loved Jennifer Grey's laugh and how she's easygoing and how she's like so gun-ho about everything, and she's talented, all that stuff. So I was like, well, at least she's impressing Johnny with like her ability to dance. But what I noticed so much more in this viewing is like she trusts herself. She makes a decision, and because it's the right thing to do, the idea that she was going into the Peace Corps finally made sense to me, where I always felt that was kind of like a throwaway thing. You have to be a person that is like sure of what is morally correct. I don't know that you have to be able to join the Peace Corps, but
I think this time I was like, I know exactly who she is and I know exactly who her dad is. They're like the parents from Get Out. They're like Allison Williams' parents from Get Out. What? They would vote for Obama a third time. You would say they're nice liberals.
I got you.
They say they know the right things to say.
And they feel those feelings until they're confronted with having to change what they do and how they appear to others.
Which is the thing that happens with her dad in the movie, that presumably she admires her dad because it's like, you're a nice liberal man who says all the right things and has all these great convictions. But now I see in real life, you're meeting somebody who had an abortion, and yeah, you're compassionate to them, but then you go to me and you're like, that girl's disgusting.
He never says anything wrong about Penny, and I like that. I like it.
That's true, but
he only ever immediately assumes Johnny did this and he's being a piece of shit and not taking care of his issues.
But just, it's like, I thought you'd be a little more like understanding and compassionate toward people.
Like, this is your moment.
Yeah.
You just gave free medicine to someone, and I'm so glad about this pro bono situation you're doing, but you think they're crap. And you didn't even think once about the circumstances they're in. Where if Lisa had gotten knocked up, Baby's sister, you'd just give her the abortion because you're a doctor, and we have a dad that's a doctor. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't feel this way. It's privilege. It's access.
I'm sure we talked about this the last time.
Who knows?
When you were a kid, though, you're from a very conservative family, and I think abortion is like a forbidden thing. I mean, what was was there any discussion about this? I mean,
no.
That's that abortion movie?
I don't think I understood at all what was happening. I really don't know when it all clicked. Even this watching, I heard 3 lines I'd never heard before at 3 different points of the movie where I'm like, that's what they're saying? And they weren't important. The point is, it's like, for things to slowly click and turn and change and become a slightly different movie is so normal that I can't remember going, oh, that's an abortion. I always knew it was sexual, it was bad, and that I just thought someone stabbed her in the vagina with a knife. Like, and they kind of did, but No, I got it. When was the first time I'm sure I learned what that is from school, from kids talking about it. It wasn't anything people talked about in my family. Not till late in my 20s. What about you?
Being in me?
Did your family talk about abortion?
Oh, kinda, I guess, but not in a
Guess who had an abortion?
No, my mom didn't talk to me about things really. I think if she said anything, it would.
Go look at that book I gave you, Matt, with all the pictures.
I do remember her saying what it was. I don't really remember if she like cast judgment upon it or anything.
Can you remember the first movie you saw that deals with it?
Fuck no.
Okay, because me neither. Just this one.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think for guys, and it's not something you remember because in your head you're thinking that'll never affect me. Even if it affects me, it won't really affect me.
No, I'll tell you, I remembered it. If I thought about it at all, it would be like to make a joke, like that's weird, or like her dead baby, haha.
Or your mom should have had an abortion. What a funny joke!
I first heard it from some 41, maybe.
Oh, the abortion. I wasn't
abortion.
talking about that. I just mean saying off-color jokes because you're tween or teen and you're a piece of shit.
Yeah, that was
me included.
That was the extent to which it played in my head as a. So I admire the centrality of abortion in this movie, and it makes me think like, oh, I wish this movie were more political and more centered it even more. If you did, no one would. I mean, little Laci and her cousins wouldn't be watching it. But my question is, okay, you want these topics to be, you want people to engage with these topics, see how they feel about them, see, okay, abortion is a reality in people's lives and the consequences of it when it's dangerous, when it's not, legal and regulated and just a normal medical thing, or any sort of big idea like that. But if you don't notice it's there, it doesn't really affect you. So like,
right. Yeah. There's, I understand the need to make it palatable, but if you make it so, I don't know. I think if I'd have been a teenager watching this movie for the first time, I would have understood it. I think it just depends on the age you consume it. And if you consume it at a very young age, I think it's much more likely that you'll go a way longer time not really absorbing the message because it'll just stay the thing. It's dancing.
Yeah.
It's Johnny.
I think about this all the time. To what extent in YA fiction or whatever, do these ideas, these sort of big ideas about politics or whatever, to what extent do the readers actually take them in, and does it affect them, if at all? Or is it just something you're like, well, that's just part of the thing, and I guess I'm not saying this well. No,
I get what you're saying, and I think it's probably just to tap away at the edges, right? Like anything is, it's for the people who are interested and who might have questions, or it's just a domino. And if it's important to you, then maybe you're helping a couple people understand something they were already curious about
at the margins,
or needed it. Yeah, that's all it is.
Eleanor Bergstein is the screenwriter of Dirty Dancing, and as I said, she was the real life baby. She took elements of her life to write, to inform Baby and to inform what happens in this movie. But she says, this movie's not my biography. I had a doctor who was my father. We vacationed in the Catskills, but she did it when she was younger. And she said she loved to dance. She was like politically, high-minded. And she didn't have a sister. The two sisters, she said, are like the two sides of her personality sort of split up into two. And then she didn't infiltrate like a hunky dancer's world.
Okay, so she didn't get to see the other side of the Catskills. She
I guess not.
Imagine that there must be just, what do they get up to at night?
I think she did in researching this movie. Like there was a dance teacher who she met, when she's 44 doing the research for Dirty Dancing. And it's like, you kind of, maybe you'll be my Johnny.
So the setting was more just like, I need this to be a slice of life. I need this baby person to be without other options for 3 weeks. I need them to be stuck somewhere for the story to work.
And it was, she had a lot of nostalgia for the Catskills, and as a Jewish person wanted to capture this moment in time that even in the movie that we're watching is set in 1963. And they're saying like the owner of the hotel says, I feel like we're at the end of this. This is all going away. The Catskills mountain range north of New York City are where the Jewish people of New York went to vacation during the summers.
Okay, so it's not the name. I knew it was a place, like a geographical place, but it's not the name of a resort.
Right. There's lots of different resorts.
Okay.
The Kellerman's is, I believe it's like a composite of a few different resorts. There's a documentary that's on Amazon Prime that I watched. I don't remember the name of it or which resort it was, but they claimed they were the inspiration. But I feel like a lot of places could claim to be the inspiration. The thing where the owner of the resort is like a daily presence and kind of like a celebrity walking around the grounds. They said that was all, that's how it was.
Very Trump.
Yeah.
Very Mar-a-Lago.
The history of vacation is fascinating.
Okay.
If you look at the marketing materials for Disney World in the 70s,
it's like, come here if you want.
They'll be like, we have water skiing and golf, and you can rent a boat and drive it around this lake. And also a theme park, but come on vacation here. It's like the ways you marketed vacation. People wanted to go water skiing. That was vacation.
It's like how maybe it's not just in America, but like in European places, it was marketed to people that eggs and bacon and toast are for breakfast. But it wasn't what people ate for breakfast. It just, you see it enough on TV and in print ads. And it was it's something I learned while watching a food documentary about people, about the Asian places and how that is not at any.
Those aren't breakfast foods.
Right, at all. It does not, and they weren't. They didn't used to be. It's just like, why is skiing and why is hiking and why is golf something I need to do on vacation?
Like in the 70s, those were the signals of vacation. I'm on vacation. I'm at leisure.
They were the signals of money. You could afford an all-inclusive place.
But for like a middle-class person, it's not. These are
an all-inclusive cruise or an all-inclusive place to go stay in Mexico or something. It is affordable, but you get to feel like you are completely being taken care of in a way that must be what rich people feel like all the time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So before this, she had written a movie called "It's My Turn" with Michael Douglas, from which an intimate and erotic dance sequence was deleted by the studio. And she said, "This is ridiculous. I'll go write my own movie."
It was aborted.
That is nothing but. So she was 49 years old when the movie came out. She, to this day, still is basically the ambassador for Dirty Dancing. Patrick Swayze's dead. Emile Ardolino, the director's dead. And she, as the author of the screenplay and the real life baby, is like the closest thing to this is the spokesperson for the movie. And she adapted it into a musical, Dirty Dancing, the classic story on stage in 2005. Still, I believe, being produced today. And they are maybe working on a sequel.
But they already have one.
A Dirty Dancing 2 with Jennifer Grey, with Eleanor Bergstein, with whoever's left from the original cast. This was announced in 2020. It's not in pre-production or anything, but just throwing it out there that maybe in the future we'll see something happen.
Is Jerry Orbach still alive?
No, he's dead.
Yeah. Well, what about Penny, Cynthia Rhodes?
I don't know.
Okay.
You want to see a sequel to this movie, Laci?
No, probably, but I would still watch it.
Okay, Emile Ardolino is the director. He's the director of the picture. He was he's the director, and he died of AIDS in 1993, age 50. Very sad, but this was his first feature film credit was Dirty Dancing. Before this, he won the Best Documentary Oscar for a movie called He Makes Me Feel Like Dancing.
Oh, okay.
In 1983.
I thought that was a movie, but I've heard of this.
I watched it. It's only 45 minutes. It's on YouTube. It's fine. It is about a dance teacher and sort of the joy, but also the dedication required to dance. And I'll say, I feel like Mr. Ardolino, maybe because he came up filming dance numbers. That's what he did.
Yeah.
He worked on TV. We got a dance sequence. You film it. And I think maybe a little too into the technical.
Okay, but you can feel that. Like, Johnny is a dance instructor. It's how he became somebody who could earn a living. And they really do have a focus on Johnny being a strong teacher. He can teach you anything.
Mm-hmm.
He can, and how he breaks it down. It's just all very believable. And I like it because a different kind of movie about this would skip over all of that and do a montage. Or they do somewhat,
mm-hmm.
but you really buy it. Like and it really is true. Jennifer Grey really is learning this stuff. Their frustrations are real. When she's laughing because he's doing the He really is annoyed at Jennifer Grey.
Yeah. Now, to be clear, yeah, when it's instructional, I think it's great. I think like, yeah, you're definitely, this feels very authentic. The director does seem like
he knows
this is what the movie is calling for. And Patrick Swayze is great, like as the dancing teacher when he's, I forgot the word he says, but he's like, tucka, 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 tucka.
Oh, tucka.
Yeah. And it's like obvious he's a trained dancer. He's said this a billion times in his life. If you did not, if you were an actor, you'd be like, that word, it's like when Ashton Kutcher recites the Greek alphabet in The Butterfly Effect.
You've done that before.
Yeah.
No, it's like when you sing a Weezer song at karaoke night and then the fucking host inevitably goes, that's the first time you did that.
Why? How dare you?
They hate that you know what you're doing.
I'm talking about when there's just the workers are doing their titular dirty dancing. It feels way too professional and it's filmed very professionally. And I just feel like he's more interested in just capturing the technical dancing rather than communicating a feeling to you, the viewer.
Well, it does a really good job of making me feel like I don't belong in that room, but I want to so bad as a person who loves to dance, but I don't know how to do that dancing. And I certainly don't know how to dance with a partner. Oh my God, am I bad at that? So I very much feel like I'm carrying a watermelon.
Yeah. So after Dirty Dancing, he directs 3 Men and a Little Lady. The sequel. You like that one, not 3 Men and a Baby?
I think I like Baby. I can't remember, but I like both.
3 Men and a Baby, directed by Leonard Nimoy. Did you know that?
That is random.
So he directs the sequel to the Leonard Nimoy movie, and then he directs Sister Act, and dies. Yeah, he was an openly gay man, but he's son of Italian immigrants. I think it's very easy to see like he's the Johnny, Bergstein's the baby. That
might be the most unbelievable part of the dance crew in the movie, that there be that many heterosexual men to partner up with the women. If they're trained dancers, it's just like theater. It's not going to be a 1-to-1. Like there's not just a ton of straight men. There are some, but it's not like every boy has a girl. And also none of them were, I don't know. It just, if they're that sexually open, then you'd think you'd see a couple of non-traditional.
Oh, you will not see. Yeah, you will not see any mixed race. You will not see
no mixed
no
race
interracial couplings. No homosexual couplings. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, don't worry, parents.
Don't worry.
So Patrick Swayze he plays Johnny. Now he was 35 years old when he made this movie. He's 5'10".
Thank you, Matt.
He grew up in Houston. I feel like you don't hear about a lot of people being from Houston.
That explains. He has an accent. He never changes it, and it's present throughout everything, and it is Southern. That makes sense. It's not, but it's not Southern to the.
It's Texan.
It's not Southern this way. It's Southern this way.
Yeah, which they wouldn't say is Texas doesn't think of itself as the South.
But there's a draw. He's got a draw.
Yeah, but Houston, America's 4th largest city. But I don't like Wes Anderson is from Houston. Who else is from Houston?
Beyonce.
That's right. She is. Yes. So his mother was a choreographer. He grew up training in ballet and stuff. Moved to New York and performed ballet professionally, had a lot of success, but then he got injured, and that prompted him to move to the theater. And he played Danny Zuko on Broadway in Greece, got a lot of notice. They said, you're destined for pictures, and he was. So he moved to Hollywood, where Francis Ford Coppola casts him in The Outsiders, 1983.
He's great in that.
And it's a big hit, and creates a lot of future stars. Let's see. He's in a movie called Uncommon Valor in 1983. That was a pretty modest hit. Red Dawn, previous episode that you shouldn't listen to, is a movie that he was in that he's the lead of. Yet. That was a big hit. And then this movie called Youngblood that I've never heard of was a big hit. He's on a little roll.
He's a little, yeah.
And then, Dirty Dancing.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, so Dirty Dancing 1987 and then Roadhouse 1989. Ghost in 1990 is the biggest movie of the year. It makes $500 million.
I still can't bring myself to watch it again. It's too sad.
I've never seen it. It's one of like the biggest movies I've never seen.
And I've seen him multiple times. It's just I don't wanna. Look how sensual he's being there, neck kissing, just like in Dirty Dancing.
It looks a lot sexier than I've seen these parts. I've seen, the molding thing.
Everyone calls it the molding thing.
But it's not mold.
It's pottery. I mean, it's a pottery wheel.
Don't you mold in pottery?
Fine, but mold is not a sexy word. Mold can also kill you. And Roadhouse is like kind of against type at this point. Well, I mean, he's always tough.
No, that's the thing. He's the tough guy, but also a ballet dancer. He appeals to men and women, that's basically. The two kinds of people, the men and the women. Right. Men like action, women like dancing. Well, he's got both. But, you know, he died in 2009, and his obituaries will always mention, like, never really broke through to be the big, like, leading man of the 90s that it seemed like he was going to be. Which I always think of him as, like, this big, iconic movie star. But you look at his filmography, and it's pretty short.
Yeah.
And after Point Break in 1991, it's kind of all downhill.
Does he attempts to do more movies and they just aren't hits, or does he get sick? Like
he battles alcoholism. I think he has some personal life stuff going on, but he seemingly beats it. In Donnie Darko 2000, gets a lot of praise for his role as the Donnie Darko's teacher, but like he didn't parlay that into being a character actor.
A reconnaissance, or not reconnaissance.
Renaissance.
A renaissance.
And he died at age 57. He'd be in his 70s today. Like, yeah, he'd be a great character actor in movies.
Yeah. Like William Dafoe. When you see him, you're like, yeah.
He might be in the Expendables movies.
Right. Yeah.
But I had this thought: what if he's a John Wick villain, or a John Wick like ally?
Well, I mean, he definitely has the physicality.
Yeah.
You know, just anyone that can just do all their own shit.
I think Lawrence Fishburne. I think the John Wick movies like to pair Keanu up with somebody he has a past with.
Oh,
so if you had a Point Break.
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah,
I wasn't thinking of that. Yeah. I'm here for it.
Yeah, I thought
talking about Patrick Swayze just makes me sad. He's just someone who died too young, and for someone so physical to be so debilitated, Jeff, with
pancreatic cancer,
with sickness. Yeah, it's just hard to talk about.
All right, well, Jennifer Grey. She was 27 in 1987.
5'3", my height. Yes.
Yeah. As I said, I've now come to accept I like it better when old people play teenagers, because if you put actual teenagers on screen, I won't care.
All right.
Like, look at these babies. Get them off my screen.
But they both have to be old.
They both have to be old. She's still 8 years younger than him. But yeah, he's supposed to be like 20 years old.
They don't say, but I mean, I assume in his 20s.
Her first film role was Reckless in 1984, and then she was in Red Dawn. Not for very long, but she's in Red Dawn, and Patrick Swayze's in there, and apparently
they were not friends.
They didn't like each other.
Yep.
She thought he was too macho and played too many pranks. And when they brought him in to read for Dirty Dancing, she had already been cast, and she said, "Don't hire him, please."
Oh, wow.
And it doesn't seem like they ever actually. I think now that he's dead, she talks about him very reverentially, but it doesn't seem like they actually were like a.
But people can't stop talking about the chemistry of it. Well, I get it is a little unfair though. He is a trained dancer, and she literally is having to learn how to dance.
She has a background in dance.
She does, but she's not she's not trained with a partner. Mm-hmm. She like did dance school as like a kid and stuff, but not like this. Not doing it in front of a big audience. So she's learning how to do all these things with all the cast, all the crew. The mambo for the first time with that actual live audience. With it, yeah, she was very nervous. They made it all very real because it was.
I mean, yeah, you said his frustration. It's his actual frustration.
Yeah.
Why can't you? It's like Michael Jordan. Why can't my players just be Michael Jordan?
Right, just be a professional. And her frustration is too. It's like, I am fucking trying.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, it's real.
Okay, but what happened to Jennifer Grey after Dirty Dancing?
She fell off a fucking cliff.
Well, for one thing, mere days before Dirty Dancing was to be released, she was in Ireland with her secret boyfriend, Matthew Broderick, and they got in a car crash that killed 2 other people.
Oh.
He had amnesia because of it. He was convicted of reckless driving. She said it had PTSD, has PTSD to this day because of this. She said what should have been the best period of her life was instead just filled with tragedy. So that's one thing that happens. And then the other thing that happens is she gets a nose job.
Right.
Now I bring this up because
it's a big deal. It completely changed her.
She had a memoir come out last year, and she gave lots of interviews. And so this is from the New York Times interview or a profile of Jennifer Grey, which foregrounds the nose job, because the New York Times article mentions that the New York Times itself used to say Jennifer Grey syndrome, which is the idea of somebody getting too much plastic surgery or plastic surgery that takes away the charming thing.
The thing, yeah.
The thing here being the nose. Let's see.
What made her down. It's like when someone who has like a nice little crooked tooth goes and fixes it, and it's like, And like Madonna, right? Didn't Madonna always was known for like the gap in her teeth, and then she closed it?
I don't know.
But she was already Madonna, so whatever.
So yeah, from the article, quote, she was unrecognizable to people who had known her for years. Photographers who had hounded her the month before didn't pick up their cameras when she walked down a red carpet. She recalls an airline employee who glanced at her driver's license and said, "Oh, Jennifer Grey, like the actress?" And Grey said, "Actually, it is me." The woman responded, "I've seen Dirty Dancing a dozen times. I know Jennifer Grey, and you are not her." Jennifer Grey says, "Overnight, I lose my identity and my career."
God. Can you not put it back?
Well, apparently she had two. The first, her specific. The first was was more aggressive than she expected. So then she had a second to like correct the first.
Yeah, she did like the traditional nose job where they break it, they reset it. It's a completely different nose. When I got mine done, they did the male version of a nose job where they expose the bone and sand it down, because I specifically asked to keep the bump. Because I didn't want to be unrecognizable. I wanted to not hate my profile so much. But yeah, you don't know what you're going to get when they break the bone and reset it.
Was Jennifer Grey brought up to you? Like, was that?
No.
Like something you were thinking about?
I didn't want to be, I never thought, I don't know why. I hated my nose, but I was scared to completely lose how everyone else knew me, because I did it the summer out of high school, and there was already this weird untethered feeling of like, I'm not going to see these people again. These are the people who know me. I got to go start over with new people, and it's just like I didn't want to lose my nose too. I often have wished that I'd gone a little more aggressive, because I still don't love my profile, but now I don't care. Now I'm fine with it. I got a medium nose, but I do have cousins who did go the more traditional route, and it you often need follow-up surgeries. It is aggressive. You don't know how you're going to breathe afterward. You need 2 or 3 sometimes just to be able to breathe after. I got mine partially because I couldn't breathe already. So thank you, insurance. Nose jobs are, when you grow up with a nose and you aren't the most secure person to begin with, it is the thing that everyone said that you almost need to get it out of the way when you meet a new person. It's like, just say the nose thing. Just say whatever you're going to fucking do it. Make a joke. Like, let's let this part of our relationship go away, because it's coming. And I didn't want to be a babysitter. I don't like being around kids because they say it so fast. They say it so out loud. It's just, my nose was, it haunted me.
Looking at this photo of her, it would never occur to me to, like, does she have a big nose?
It's not from the front. Just like with me, it wasn't from the front. You see old pictures of me that I allowed. All the profile pictures of ones that I destroyed cameras over. Like, took film, did this, as my entire family knew not to take pictures of me from the side. That is when it changed. And so but it's what makes her so relatable is her distinct nose.
She said that, like, she with her her team and her mom, they decided, like, there's a ceiling where your career can go with this nose. So you gotta look more like everyone else to get the roles. And then the roles didn't come. And she worked, steadily in TV, voiceover roles, but that was kind of it. So I will say, I watched Ferris Bueller pretty recently. She is fucking electric in that movie. She's so funny.
She's got so much energy and like physicality. She's very Lucille Ball.
She's the best thing of the movie. It is her movie, I say. It's her journey. Dirty Dancing.
Well, who's gonna outdo Johnny? She's not supposed to.
She's fine. So that's the history of Dirty Dancing.
Oh, okay.
Feel good, everybody. We're going to talk about the movie after these messages. Okay.
Boom.
Dirty Dancing.
Boom, 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 boom.
When I met you, I knew what everything was gonna be. Oh, sorry.
No, it's be my little baby, my one. That's the boom. It's been a minute since you got that treatment, audience. Let's talk some dirty.
Yeah, so the movie opens with a very I think kind of shittily done slow motion dance montage of people being very sensual with each other. This is the dirty dancing they're talking about. You realize as you watch.
I'm sucked
Do you
in.
like this, Laci?
I love it.
You like this opening
Well, and especially
credit
because
sequence?
I wanted to be able to do the dances, so I thought it was really nice of them to slow it down for me. I didn't have that kind of technology. It was like, and so I thrust and lift my leg.
We should mention the choreography was by Kenny Ortega. Kenny Ortega would go on to direct the feature film Hocus Pocus. If you're wondering why the name seems familiar.
Was born that moment.
And he also directed High School Musical and The Descendants. So he went on to do a lot more of this.
Those
for
two
Disney.
make more sense. No, I guess all of them. No, Hocus Pocus got choreography.
Does it have dance stuff? I don't remember.
They have that stage. Anything with Bette Midler
That's
is
right,
going to
it
do
does.
something.
It does. You're right.
Well, and the that actually makes a lot of sense because there are multiple moments where all three sisters walk or move in unison.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah.
They're actually made up a way of walking that people will try to do while they're drunk and then fall. I'll show it to you later.
I can't wait.
I'll need you and our kid to do it because it takes three people. All right.
The two leads are not above the title, which I find interesting. Dirty Dancing, starring Patrick Swayze. I say.
They weren't sure. How are
Yeah.
these kids going to really work out?
All right, so then we hear Jennifer Grey doing some voiceover that will never come back for the rest of the movie.
Which is weird.
She's like, yeah, it was the summer of 1963. President Kennedy had many great years ahead of him, and we were heading on our fabulous vacation. I love my daddy so much. I'm going to give him a little hug.
This is not at all in the movie.
Okay, now what do you think of that? You're sometimes off-put by stuff like this.
You actually, I was happy that you said it after we watched it the last time. You're just like, this is a dad-daughter relationship that is doing it right because I don't feel weird about it. Right?
Yeah.
And same here. Like she's not looking at him while she's hugging him. He's not looking at her. There's something about that makes it just fine. It's just, here's a moment. But this was the first watching where I was like kind of pissed at, like, he's kind of an asshole to have such an outwardly favored child, to the point that when Lisa starts talking, he just gets up and goes, or he doesn't ask Lisa questions at all until baby fucks up.
Yeah, baby is doing the, personality mirroring. I'm like you.
Yes.
You're
Yes.
talking about the Ho Chi Minh Trail all the time. Now I am. You're talking about the Birmingham race riots, protest. I'm going to talk about them.
You're
yeah.
a doctor. I don't like blood. I'll join the Peace Corps instead.
And so, yeah, they're driving from New York City, presumably, to the Catskills, and they're a TV commercial pleasant with each other on this long car trip. They're not like fighting with no air conditioning and farting on each other. They're just...
Also, the conversation is not flowing. Like, you can tell that all four of these people are not exactly... they're not all on the same level.
Yeah.
Maybe they're just being proper. Maybe you don't talk in the car. You're right, though. It is just kind of pleasant, but not happy and not rowdy.
Oh, no, have you ever taken a car trip, even a 20-minute car trip that wasn't a disaster?
So we're proud of this family.
They're doing okay.
Okay.
Jerry Orbach plays Dr. Jake Hausman, and the mom is not a character. The sister is kind of she's, what is Lisa, the sister, what's her deal?
She's there to show you what baby's not, and then what baby...
But what do you mean?
Baby's supposed to be serious and chaste, and or she kind of seems asexual until she starts to eye Johnny from across the room. Baby is not looking for a husband, where Lisa is an age where that is what she's supposed to be doing. So she's got a bunch of shoes she packed and dresses, and she's on a mission. It makes her seem horny, but when you think about it, baby's going to the Peace Corps. She's all set. She doesn't have to figure that part out now. But Lisa needs to find a good husband, hopefully a doctor from this exact resort.
Yeah, because when she realizes she didn't pack the right shoes, she's like, oh, my Louie, I don't have my shoes.
Stop quoting
and
Richie
then
Rich.
Dr. Hausman is like, this is not a tragedy.
Right.
A tragedy is
when it's
people being sprayed by a fire hose in Birmingham.
It's exactly
Shut up.
It's exactly him and his desire to go to resorts like this, full of people just like him, that put Lisa in that very position. She needs to keep up, and she needs to be number one for the wait staff to pick over.
Is who's older though? Is Baby or Lisa older? I couldn't figure it out.
I have no idea.
I think Baby is supposed to be the older. I think.
I mean, they call her Baby. So, I mean, I just
Yeah.
assumed a lot of people who are the last born kind of get stuck with their little name because the kids perpetrated.
Yeah, Baby, a.k.a. Francis. So, yeah, they arrive at Kellerman's resort complex. And this is, again, this is the Catskills, and resorts like this were popular at the time, though, as we see in this movie, kind of going out of fashion. And by 1987, this world was basically extinct. But the history of the area is pretty interesting. Like Jewish farmers basically settled the area and then realized the land's not good for farming, but did find there is sort of an economy for people leaving New York City during the really hot summers because the climate, even though it's only like an hour away, is very it's cooler.
Okay.
And yeah, vacation destinations just kind of grew over the course of the 20th century.
If you got enough land, you can hit all the things. You have the golf course, right? And the skiing. You need a lake.
Yeah, and I think it happened like they would like hire migrant farmers and set up boarding houses, and then they're like, our farming's not doing well, but our boarding is actually like making us money. So if people instead don't come here to farm but to recreate,
and they're not going to farm for fun. You know, you put still images of the movie in the PowerPoint that we use as a guide, and I'm looking at this one, and I guess they are kind of signaling that Baby is, if there is a rebel in the family, it's clearly Baby. But like her rebellion so far has been very approved by her dad. But you see, she's wearing the more bohemian look, where Lisa still looks like she's in the 50s. I mean, she's only missing the poodle skirt. Lisa's dressed like her mom.
Yeah.
Baby's dressed masculine.
And the early 60s, it's one of the most interesting times because it's like aesthetically still seems like it's the 50s, but things are changing very rapidly, and some people realize it and some people don't. That's why Mad Men is so interesting. That's why they chose this year. It's, they could have chosen any year. And, basically a few months before Kennedy died.
Seems like it has to be. Otherwise, it's just like 9/11. It's all you'd be talking about.
Yeah. Well, and you can really, like, obviously that's the big shit, or the big thing that seems like it was the shift. Would you want to go on vacation here?
Yes.
Really?
I've always, I love the world that it builds, that trail she walks up and down, that goes to the staff quarters. But just, it's like, it reminds me of like those couple of rare vacations I had as a kid. I didn't have a ton of vacations, but there were some where it's protected enough where you can be 8 years old and be like, okay, bye. And you can go to the boardwalk, not whatever. As long as it's connected to the resort, you get to walk around wherever you want. And I just love that idea of having independence. And like, I can have like a guy that I'm crushing on, and my rest of my family doesn't have to see me playing charades with him or whatever.
That part seems fun. The part where it's like, it
a
doesn't seem
long
very
time.
Relaxing.
Well, it's like
you
a
get out of the
cruise ship.
car and they're like, there's a meringue class, get to it. Like, and you're constantly having to learn dances with all these people and make macaroni pictures and attend
That's
lectures
not
and
true.
stuff. Yes, you do.
You do not have to do it. It's just like a cruise ship. They are terrified you're going to figure out there's nothing to do because you're trapped here. So they're like, there are activities if you want them, or just chill. Like, it just depends on how hungover you are, which track you're going to take that day.
Well, how much, we don't see very much alcohol in this. I'm
talking about a cruise again.
No, I know, but like, that's the thing to make all of this, bearable. Wayne Knight is like the activities director. He is just constantly moving in the background and talking about what classes are coming up,
but performances every night, right? He's on the PA, but he's the master of ceremonies. I never thought of it before, but it is a cruise ship. You are stuck. You just drove an hour and a half to get here. You're here for 3 weeks. It's time to cha-cha.
So the first dance class is in this gazebo, and I think the gazebo. Here's a film theory. I think this is a reference to Top Hat, the movie Top Hat, because I think
yes,
I think that the Baby and Johnny storyline is very much a Fred Astaire, Ginger Rogers sort of plot from the many musicals they made together, where it's like these two people, they don't seem like they'd like each other, and one's like a great dancer and one's not, but for some reason they get stuck in a gazebo together, and he's like, don't you know how to dance? She's like, no, I don't know how to dance. And he's like, you just do this. Da, 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 da. She's like, you mean this? Da, 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 da.
It's also the plot to every Elvis movie.
Okay. So That's what's going on here.
Okay, but they did it in a gazebo.
Gazebo,
Okay,
yes.
that's
very
where we
famous.
started talking.
That's where what fucking song?
Fucking in a gazebo, my baby.
Be my little Zebo.
We're naming our next kid Zebo. All right, so this is where we get this is again, I noticed a lot of things in this watching that I just didn't ever before. I knew this movie was about class and privilege and the haves and the have-nots, but like they even break it down to the staff. Again, a cruise ship, right? The staff that gets to be above the deck, that gets to be the face of the resort. And you know, the owner, Kellerman, actually minds these kids from Harvard and Yale, and because he wants them to be handsome, he wants them to be Jewish, he wants them to be someone that the fathers can be proud that they knocked up their child. I mean, I guess it's a 3 to 2 week vacation. They're going to be young kids that are like fucking age. I guess he'd be in trouble if he had some low lives around to like mess around with the daughters. Not that they're there to do it, but that it'll happen. That it's a foregone. It's just nature. It'll happen. So we might as well make it to where, hey, I got you a doctor in the family. And he says as much, romance them, do what, whisper in their ear, whatever weird shit he says to the staff.
He says, show the goddamn daughters a good time. All the daughters, even the dogs.
Even the dogs.
Schlep them out to the terrace. Show them the stars. Romance them any way you want.
It's very interesting, though. I mean, was waitering only a male profession? It's like he doesn't care about the sons. I guess you're not allowed to be a female waiter or hostess in this environment. All of the female positions are with the dance crowd, where they're the understaff. So what?
Well, yeah, it's like to be a waiter. It's like it's a good gig to have because
make connections.
Baby's dad gives Robbie an envelope of cash at the end of the movie, which presumably this kind of thing is happening all the time.
Sure.
You're like making connections with nice older men who will like mentor you and support you just because you were a nice waiter to them for a week.
It's like these people are already vetted. You want to help your community. So it's like, this is a nice Jewish boy who's doing something and he's going to let me give him. It makes sense. It's not like there's a million Robbies running around out there. It turns out there are. Piece of shit Robbie. And is he the only one that fucks? I'd fuck half of those guys. I don't understand why he's not. Okay.
There's just so many stories to tell. This could make
right.
There could be a streaming series about Kellerman's.
That's why I love it. I love Keller. I
think Lionsgate just heard me.
That was my line. Okay, so Kellerman's giving the talk to the waiters, and it's pushy, but it's, you guys are nice. I like you. I love you. Bye. And then
he said, "I love you. Bye."
I love you, bye. And then he fucking, now it's time to talk to this dog shit Johnny who moves like a fucking stallion, and I hate him so much. Dance person. Anyway, he basically says, like, you teach him the mambo and the cha-cha and you lay your hands off.
No funny business.
No, nothing funny in your life for these next several weeks, Johnny. Anyway, right. Kellerman would have a lawsuit on his hands if any of these daughters got knocked up by these scumbags. But you need someone to push around, so why not pay pennies to the dance crew? You know what? Maybe because it's a tip industry, he doesn't have to pay the waiters that much. Plus, they're getting connections. We need low class guys that we find in a diner, which is where he found Johnny to teach him these dances, so that we can pay nothing. Because what are they going to fucking do?
It's very Dickensian.
It's wrong.
He wants these guys.
I have a lot to say.
I want you to be here to titillate, but not that much. Just the promise of a little sex.
Look at how. Well, yeah, he'd have to fire them. I mean, they find out baby was in his room. He gets fired. The dad is pissed. That is what would be happening all over the place. Kellerman's not wrong.
Well, but the job description is you got to be here to like excite them a little, get them a little.
I don't know that
moisten
he
their
says
jeans.
that.
You know what I'm saying? He says that.
He does. All right.
Why is my clicker not working?
Because you're trying to look up moist jeans and it doesn't want to.
Guilty.
All right. So now we get on to the activities. We're at night 1. And I mean, I'm not sure why Kellerman is Dr. Hausman's patient, and he's been inviting him here for years, and he finally shows up. So this is just a big get for Kellerman. And when he hears what a lovely child baby is, he's like, oh, I've got the grandson for you. Or pimp. Call boy. And calls over Neil, fucking wet diaper Neil, to show her a good time. Is there a more pompous ass? God, I hate him.
He's studying hotel management. That's nice. He's kind of like in White Lotus season 2, and this whole season was reminding me this whole movie. I'm thinking of White Lotus. He's like Michael Imperioli's son in season 2, who has a name I should have looked up. But he's the nice guy, but who you know what? I don't remember any of these characters' names or actors' names, so forget about it.
He's a safe guy that doesn't mind dancing with a little bit of a dog. She's not a dog. I think she's beautiful, but maybe she's not.
Dog.
Maybe she's not. She's a brain, right? She's not gonna. Maybe the wait staff's not gonna.
Well, she says, I'm studying economics of underdeveloped countries.
Right.
I'm going to be moving on to the Peace Corps. And he's like, oh, yeah, I'm taking a freedom ride to Mississippi after this.
Okay. He said that after Kellerman insisted that they come talk to each other, that wasn't like a by chance meeting. He's trying to set her up with his nephew.
I know. This is when they're dancing. I'm saying she shows off the big brain. He's like, I don't know about any of that.
Okay. Hotels. Magic. All right. And this is when she first gets to see Danny doing his... Danny. Who is Danny?
Zuko.
Fuck. You're right. This is when she gets to see Johnny doing his thing, and Penny and him dance beautifully. But Johnny comes in there breaking the rules right away. He danced too much with Penny. Quit showing off. Cut it out, says Kellerman. It's so silly.
Well, because he's like they're being too good at dance. Like they're doing too much of technically proficient dancing. You're intimidating them because you want to sell dance lessons to them. They're
using up too much of the song to be engaged with each other when what they're supposed to be doing is selling lessons, right? How it's going to get a cut.
Oh, so you need to literally start dancing with other people.
Yeah, which is what they do. And it drives me crazy because they're living in a time where you have to have a partner. Even the 11, 12-year-olds have a goddamn partner. They walk around and go taking each other's partners. What does that person do after Penny comes over and takes the man away? Like, okay, I'll just wait for my husband to come back.
Yeah. I don't.
Rude.
None of it makes sense to me. I'm this world.
Yeah, it's
dancing.
A cruise ship. Remember when we took the one and only cruise that almost ended our lives in marriage? And immediately there's dancing on the, they give you the coconut thing. And
and I'm like, what did I sign up for?
It's just like, okay, bye, husband. And I run off and I'm like, cha-cha-cha slide or whatever was happening.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not for everyone.
Yeah.
You find your people.
No, I know.
Which was no one for you.
In remembering what cruises are like, I was like, I guess I ignored 70% of what happens on a cruise. I'm like, I want to go read a book. And yeah.
Yeah.
I'd go on a cruise now, though. God, if we could go on a cruise.
Okay, enough with your busy signaling.
Not because we're busy. Just we need some time.
We do need some time.
Okay.
So what happens after this?
Well, wait. Johnny and Penny are doing the very impressive mambo, and Baby is staring, mouth agape. What am I looking at? And this is filmed very well. Good hat tip. I doff my cap to director Ardolino. There are very few cuts. They're standing full in frame. You can see both of the actors totally. Very impressive stuff.
It was very impressive. It was very important to him to get actors. The studio wanted to use stunt doubles, and he said, absolutely not. That is insane. He's like, no. So they were hired for their acting ability and their dancing.
You see, though, there's a tension here. Johnny's an artist, but the obligations of business come in conflict with how he wants to actually express himself, as we'll see later when they say, dance the pachango. And he's like, the pachongo? We'll get to that later.
Man, is there some sex in this room. Okay, filthy filth dancing happening. So Baby's poking around, being a little nosy Rosie, and sees Johnny's cousin, who I can't remember his name.
It's Billy.
Billy, who I love Billy. He's an underdog in this story. Who's carrying too many watermelons. Also, what is it, a watermelon party? A watermelon and beer party?
We never see anyone eating any watermelon.
No, it's just like, what do we have laying around he needs help with? Give him some fruit. She comes and takes one, And
well, first he sees her and he's like, what are you doing over here? Get out of here. There's no guests around here.
Because she's way back in the fucking, in the.
Well, know your place, baby.
Yes. She really is. Like, just enjoy your above board activities. You don't have to come down to steerage, man.
She's like the woman from the Pulp song Common People. She's like a rich girl, but she's like, I want to go cosplay as a poor person. That's fine to me.
Well, and they're off the clock. Let them do the thing they want to do.
That's true.
This is what they're looking forward to all day. They teach rich people the bunny hop, and then they come and do this for 2 hours, get drunk enough to fall asleep, and wake up and do it all over fucking again, baby.
This is
now
like when
you're in our shit.
Yeah.
This is our 2 hours.
This is like when your boss finds out you're going out to lunch. He's like, hey, can I come along?
No.
Like, well, then it's work.
And pay me for the Christmas party time that we spent. All right. So she walks in and she's blown away.
Because it's like an S&M club to her.
Absolutely. People expressing their genitalia all over each other. That makes sense. And boy, are these people into it. So she's in there. She's just looking around and then I'm a love man. Oh, baby. That's right. I know every song that enters Johnny. Anyway, he comes in and Johnny is the cat's pajamas. He's just humping everybody. Booty.
Respectfully.
But respectfully, just what's that hip bump thing? Just pow. Penny and him are superstars. They dance. They do their kind of dancing. They're having a great time. And then Johnny sees baby from across the room. What's this chick doing in here? And then, weirdly, I guess maybe to make her part of the, if you're gonna look at us, you're gonna be in trouble too, madam. So come out here. That's how I took it. Like, let me pull you in on this. That way you can't go rat us out.
I was going to ask you about this because he starts dancing with her and I couldn't tell, is he like mocking her with his like pelvic thrusts?
No.
But then they seem to like be
He's really teaching her.
sincerely dancing. But it's funny. The song ends and he, eloquently spins away, but she keeps dancing and then tries to play like, yes, claps her hands.
But I think it's a couple things. I think he's probably thinks that she's staring at them like zoo animals. So he wants to show her, number one, you don't know how to do this. It takes skill. Number two, you're going to be into this. Look how much it's fun. Number three, you just fucking did it. So now you're dirty too. I dare you to tell daddy now. I think it's a little bit of like leverage. Because it's not like they're friends now. In fact, he probably hates her more now. Right now, she's a problem. There's no way Kellerman knows this is what the waitstaff does after, not the waitstaff, but even worse, the dance people do. That's
These
why
are
it's
all
so
dance
tough.
people?
Yeah, they're all the entertainment people.
How many dance people do they have at this resort?
It's not this. They don't all do the same level of dancing. It's a huge resort and there are activities around the clock. People need breaks. People need lunch. People need sleep. And not everybody works every day. So it's just like a cruise ship. I mean, you need people that are going to teach and do like the little like one-off things that are just like Penny doing the wig thing. That has nothing to do with dancing, but it's not like some, big, what's the word? Prestigious gig to have to put hair on rich ladies. So
I assumed
it's just crew.
I guess it makes it a little better because I assume like these are also cooks and stuff. And it's like, how do they all know to be that good at dancing? It's that professional.
These are more of the people that Kellerman mines from lower class places so he can pay the people who are really keeping everything going as little as possible. That's my take on it.
We cut now to a world of contrasts as there's very clean dancing in the gazebo and
back to that damn gazebo.
We see how Johnny, we pay you to do the mambo and the pachanga or whatever. What we actually want you to do is go titillate some older ladies. And so he's dancing with the housewives and presumably like
the bungalow bunnies.
And they slip him room keys and they're like, I'm in 18A. My husband won't be back till Saturday. And Neil takes baby on a walk and he tells her, I'm the catch of the county. I am.
He loves watching her hair blow in the breeze.
He's got such a way with words.
Boy, does
But she's not having any of it because she's real and she, sees past all of this.
Well, she's not trying to get a damn husband. She's about to leave the country. Like, back up, Neil.
Hey, he's a nice guy. You can treat him a little.
Not.
Agreed.
Okay, but importantly, you're going to say what happens in the background?
In the background?
Of Neil and baby's interaction.
What happens in the background?
Lisa is coming off the golf course with Robbie, who has clearly like taken some of her clothes off. Like she's all disheveled. He wants to go further than she wants to. And now she's walking on one heel because one heel is either broken or off. And she's following him, chasing him. And she says, Robbie, I don't hear an apology. And he says,
That's Lisa?
Yeah. And he says, well, keep listening, Lisa. Maybe you'll hear one from your daddy or something like that. And it's like, okay.
Wait, that's, this is crazy.
It's immediate.
I thought that was someone else.
That's why the way to get out of this interaction with Neil, Baby says, I need to go check on Lisa.
Oh, okay.
But also you're right. This is a world of contrast. Johnny's being the most gentlemanly ever. He doesn't even want this bitch's room key. But he knows it's his role, and he gets big tips this way. And he's in a suit. Meanwhile, Robbie's fucking date raping one of the guests and yelling at her about it. You know, and I'm sure he didn't actually assault just yet, but he was trying. And Lisa shut it down.
Well, afterward, Lisa's still like very positively inclined toward him. I guess that's why it didn't click for me. Not that can't happen. That.
I've been where Lisa is.
Yeah.
Lisa thinks she did something wrong by not going as far as Robbie thought they were going to. You know, gave him blue balls or whatever. I'm sure he didn't say that, but that's the hint. So yeah, it's once Lisa decides I'm going to go all the way with Robbie that she's like, now I'm going to be the girl he needs. Like that absolutely was still happening in the 90s for me.
So yeah, Neil takes Baby. He's like, hey, I can show you the world. I can show you the kitchen. Look, there's ice cream, and Baby then sees Penny, who's crying. And earlier it'd been like, where's Penny? I don't know where Penny is. Well, here she is. She's in the refrigerator crying.
In the closed kitchen where she should have some privacy.
We find out now Penny's in trouble. And she's with child. And Baby kind of stalks them. And she goes and gets Johnny and Johnny's cousin. She's like, you got to go, Penny, I'm trouble at the old mill. And they go and they collect Penny, and Baby is the well-meaning liberal is inserting herself in the situation. And is like, well, why don't you, do something about it? Like, what are we going to do? We don't have any money. And then she runs and gets money.
No, she says, ask Robbie. And Penny says, Robbie already knows he's not going to help. And so Baby goes to Robbie personally and says it. That's when he gives her the freaking Fountainhead book, and she pours water down his pants.
That was my next note. Yeah, because she
does try Robbie first.
Yes,
she needs to see it with her own eyes.
Well, yeah, and he says,
some people count, some people don't,
and that she's balling every man on the property. He says balling. So how do I even know it's mine? And
she know chicks like that.
Check this book out, The Fountainhead. You should read it, but give it back to me because it's got my notes in it. I want to see those notes.
I've got notes in the margins.
I want to see those notes. This guy, oof.
This is like Penny, huh? That's his note.
So yeah, so Baby then goes to her dad, and again she's the Laci thing continues. Dad, someone's in trouble, and he's like, oh, someone's in trouble. Who? And she's like, I can't say. Okay, Baby, I know you'd never lead me astray, so here's $250.
It's not just that she can't have a baby. It is, she really the very few connections and networks she's been able to build since being a Rockette is this circuit. And if she starts not showing up to gigs, and not being with child and being out of work for 9 months and then having
that'd be the end of it.
She would be on the street again.
Yeah,
that's why she was so upset. Not just I'm pregnant.
I know. I have tremendous sympathy for Penny, and I think this movie does a good job of showing not only the pressure and how this that being pregnant just is going to fall so disproportionately on the woman, make it the woman's responsibility. This will really hurt her life and her career in a way that it won't Robbie, won't the man. And even just like having to take time away from work to go get the abortion is going to really affect her job, which is a problem to this day for women who have to do that.
And it would have hurt Johnny, and it would have hurt Billy, her having a child, because they've ever since she's 16 and thrown out on the street, that's been her family. That is why they're like brothers and sister, and they're so, brothers and sisters who dance like that. Mm-hmm. But that's her family. It would fuck them all up.
Yes.
To have a child to raise.
So Baby says, here, I've got the money. Use it, and they are a little suspicious, as they should be. Somebody,
who's gonna
some rich person, says, "Hi, you don't know me, but here's money." You're like, well, what is that? What does it mean? Here's money. What do you expect in return? Who are you
This
telling
kid for
about
real?
this? Yeah. But is this kid for real? She is for real. The only problem is she has to take time off work to get the abortion. And
Right.
the big show's coming up, the big mambo show.
Not a
And
big show, just a gig.
who's going to replace her? There's no one who could do it. Wait a minute. Maybe you, baby?
But they sell that pretty good. Johnny goes through the list of people who are as skilled as Penny, and they're all busy. Everybody works here, baby.
This is, it's an Astaire and Rogers plot. Like,
Sure.
you just go with it.
Right.
So now the training montage, it basically becomes a sports movie for a little while.
Which I love.
And she's like, first she's not so great, but then she's starting to get the hang of it. But Johnny, he's a little frustrated. And Patrick Swayze, also frustrated.
Yes.
How much time is this supposed to take? Like, how many days is this?
Okay. So they all interact and have all that interaction at least before the end of the first week that they're there. They're there 3 weeks. And I think by the end of the second week or the beginning of the third is when the mambo happens. So, I don't know, like 10 days?
10 days. So 10 days to train for the mambo. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I guess, I don't know.
Just one dance. She doesn't do it that well. I like how many times she messes up, but still, it's good enough for the Sheldrake
Yeah.
Hotel.
Yeah. So, and the reason I said I don't think this movie is sexy is like they're doing technically sexy stuff, but it's all in montage and I just don't feel any of it. Also, this Hungry Eye song is playing and I get distracted every time an 80s song starts playing and I'm trying to figure out, is there a method to, because you said you thought this movie has the best soundtrack of all time. And I thought that's ridiculous.
Well, these are just songs.
But
when it's an 80s song, the two times that there are 80s songs, it's a song Patrick Swayze wrote, two of them.
it's not just his songs though, because there's more. But I was trying to figure out, is it thematic? Is it like when they're training or when they're feeling intense emotions? Suddenly it's like we're out of the oldies 60s. Now we're in modern times.
No, it's not, because the one where they actually have sex is a great song that has nothing to do with.
Yeah.
I think it's just money. Oh,
I just wanted to say that you said this is the greatest soundtrack of all time. And I don't agree with that, but I was only thinking of, Hungers, and not, there's like 50 oldies, like that must have been so expensive
and that's what I was,
to license.
those are what I was talking about.
Yeah.
And okay, you have to think of Johnny's life. He's only been looked at as an object, as a gigolo, as someone who has to have sex for money. And he's always being seduced, always being put in sensual, sexual relationships. People are always taking advantage of him. For someone to be kind of playful and just kind of a kid and just is trying to help you and just teach me the fucking dance. And this is not a sexy training. This is just, we have to get this done. We have 10 fucking days. I don't think it needs to be sensual. He's had that. So I think this works. He's being shown a different kind of relationship, and she is too. It's sexy and sensual for her, but it's not the way that you want to see it, because I don't think Johnny would have wanted it that way. Her coming on to him constantly, I don't know. I buy the dynamic. I love the training parts.
I think you're right that this is a different kind of, for Patrick Swayze, he's like being won over by her as a dance partner, except that he is also won over by her as a sexual partner and her too.
But it's not the kind of sexual romance he's probably used to. And it doesn't seem like he's been in a relationship for a long time. It would be impossible to have a relationship. I mean, think about it. Him and Penny are not together, probably because both of them have to do some sex work just to get the tips that they're trying to get and sustain their livelihood. So yeah, how could you be in a romantic relationship? He just doesn't get the opportunity probably that much.
Well, it's very impressive, the two actors on the log. Obviously the two actors, not stunt people, not ringers. They're really doing it in front of the camera.
Okay,
it's
well,
cool. Good job.
Johnny and Baby have come to a head where she finally, he gets frustrated with her and she goes off on him. And that's when he's like, well, let's get out of here. And then, because you're glazing over some pretty amazing moments.
It's all montage though. Like what?
What? No, this is all dialogue. Once and about, and he hurts his back. And what I'm really trying to do is drop you on it. Well, let's get out of here then. I can do the entire thing if you want me. 2, And then they get on the log, and that's when, because she wants to learn how to do the lift. So now we're going to go do the lift shit. But that's when he teaches her or tells her all about his life. That's the important part. And then, of course, the classic lift scenes in the water where you can see nipples. Sexy, sexy nipples.
Not sexy at all. So
baby's nipples, not his.
Not sexy. He and then it's the night of the mambo. Where they do the Toto and Poco.
Yeah.
I probably mentioned in 2017 that hearing this song is very triggering for me because I worked for a lawyer who did a TV show. Well, he did 2 TV shows. One was a Spanish language show called Toto and Poco, and it was the nightmare of my life having to coordinate with the people who produced that show to like get the footage. And that music sting played over and over. Toto and Poco.
Okay.
So every time I hear it, I'm like, ah.
Okay.
Yes, but tell us about this performance. How does Baby do?
She does a believable amount of skilled dancing for someone who's been practicing really hard for 10 days.
Mm-hmm.
She makes the dancing with a partner is so much about these like subtle cues that the audience is not supposed to see. So she's supposed to do the lift, but then just signals to him with his eyes, I will not be doing the lift, and then does this funny, anyway, whatever. I think she fucks up just enough, and it's a believable enough professional job that it's not going to screw up Penny's ability to get the gig next time, or Johnny.
I agree. I love that it's not like suddenly she's like, she does a good enough job to impress Johnny, and he says like, you worked really hard. He's like really grateful, but it's not like it's not a magical fantasy where she is suddenly as good as him, because how could she be? And I like that they're in the car afterward, and it's sweet. He's like, you did good.
Sweet.
You did good.
Yeah. And you said, well, don't you want someone to tell you you did good? I do.
No one ever does.
You did good.
But I want like a hunky Italian guy.
Yeah, I know.
You did good.
Me too. I mean, no, don't. Yeah. And you can tell that's kind of the first time we see that Johnny thinks he's starting to like her. It's you don't see him act that way until he's like kind of looking in his rearview mirror, and he just seems really appreciative. I don't think he thought she'd actually go through with it, do it, not chicken out at the last minute, not totally screw him over until after it was over and done. I think he needed to see the check in the bank before he could feel like I can trust this person a little bit. So it makes sense that he would put his guard down then.
I think it's my favorite scene in the movie is them in the car, because they have first the you did good. They're kind of like flirty joking, and then there's just a long silence. Like, we should be fucking each other right now, but
and he sees that Baby is still herself. Like, this didn't change their dynamic at all. She's still, kind of like putting herself down a little bit and like, oh, I didn't do this. Oh, darn it. Like this really is her personality, and he can appreciate it for the first time. And this is one of the aggravate. I know they need it for the plot, but it's always aggravated me. Just one sentence would help this situation.
It is maddening. It's a maddening misunderstanding that like seems like it's from a different kind of, from a farce, from a different kind of movie.
Well, but they also seem like Johnny might have just even misunderstood. He is responsible for Penny. He takes care of her. That is his family. He's responsible. Who's responsible for this girl? Where that is an old-fashioned way, probably from the dad's generation, of saying who's responsible for getting this girl knocked up.
I agree. Yeah. And I feel bad for Johnny because he's just
being a sweetie.
The Jerry Orbach says who's responsible for this girl, and he's just like a dumb guy. He's like, duh, I'm Bam.
No, like a sweetheart.
He doesn't know what he's saying, and he doesn't know how it's coming across to Dr. Hausman. I like that. I think that where I get frustrated is just later in the movie when they're like,
specifically, while I know Baby has a lot of like apologizing to do and explaining for her own self in the scene where she's chasing her dad back to their cabin and to explain. But she kind of mentioned it that's God.
No, I know you'd front load that. You'd be like, look.
No, well, he knows who Robbie is. Like, it could change so much. Robbie could have gotten fired.
Mm-hmm. But Baby goes to get her. We didn't even say this. Yes.
Oh, fuck.
Penny, the night of the Mambo number, Penny went to get the abortion from. It turns out she was getting it from a quack or just a doctor who did a bad job. And
no, it was definitely a scam, taking advantage of the fact that abortion wasn't legal.
Yeah, it didn't use sanitary tools. I don't know what happened, but you don't need to. It's just
folding table and a dirty knife, and he's only there for one night. That probably should give you the fact that he would only be there for one night is fly by night.
So she's basically, life-threatening medical emergency, and Baby then goes and gets her dad
without thinking. Like, just know that's the cool thing about Baby. She just does it.
She gets it done.
She's confident about her decisions.
She wakes him up, and he goes, and then who's responsible for the girl? Oh, I am. But then they leave, and Baby's dad he's like, I didn't know you were hanging out with these reprobates. So what is happening in his mind right there? What does he think his daughter? It's just that she's associating with these people?
No, that she's going to, if Penny is a person who can get knocked up, then Baby being friends with Penny, or God forbid, friends with Johnny, means that she could ruin her whole life and his whole success look that he's worked so hard on. And he's groomed his child to like keep it in her pants and think about her career. And, one vacation at this one place is going to throw that all off track. He's probably kept her pretty sheltered. And all of a sudden, Baby found a way to be out from under that shelter by going to the side of the resort she wasn't supposed to.
Well, after that, Baby goes to...
She goes to apologize to Johnny, who was not upset about about how he was treated, because he's used to being treated that way. He's just so relieved Penny's going to be okay. Which is another sweet thing. Like, he's not mad. Baby doesn't even need to apologize. He's like, no, I am a piece of shit. No, that's fine. He just saved her life. I could never do that.
Yeah, all I can do is move my hip. I could never perform medical services like that. But yeah, she shows up at his apartment or at his cabin. He's like, your dad's so great, and I'm nothing. She's like, you're not nothing, you're everything. And he's like, last month I'm eating juju bees. This month the ladies are slipping me their room keys.
Please stop doing his accent.
Baby says, I'm scared of everything. I'm scared of the people outside this room, and I'm scared of never feeling this way again about anybody.
In my whole life. The way I do when I'm with you.
We were all 18 once. So then they dance. After they did the big dance, I wrote in my notes, this would be like if you and I did a podcast for fun. So they sort of dance fuck.
They're just filling in the blanks that they'd wanted to be filling the whole time. You and me don't do a podcast that simulates sex. If we did, we'd probably then, simulate that sex again and then have it. This isn't work.
It's not a bad idea.
Okay.
It is work.
We're going to change the format of the podcast immediately.
It is work. This is fucking work.
Not with her.
Okay, it'd be like if you graphic designed for fun after a hard day of graphic designing. And I was like,
fine.
Maybe turn that into a vector. So, yeah, she's like, post-coital, she's like, Johnny, how many women have you had? And he's like...
He doesn't answer.
But he's like, not as many as you'd think, basically. The women are always using me for sex.
I don't think he says, I think what he means is that answer isn't going to mean what you think it means, because I've had sex with many people I did not want to have sex with. That's the point. It's an inflated number because of necessity.
It's not like he's thinking, well, I did this and it's impressive. I did this and it's not like I feel good about it.
He was used.
Uh-huh.
He's a victim.
It continues to feel like White Lotus because the family has an awkward breakfast of grapefruit. And, the dad is like, I'm ready to leave. And the family's like, no, we want to stay for the big thing.
Well, because he hasn't told his wife shit.
Yeah,
she
I know.
has no idea what's going on, and he doesn't either.
So Baby then goes to check on Penny, and then Johnny shows up, and we finally get our first Johnny.
Hey.
Johnny.
Which in my memory was every 10 seconds in this movie.
Okay.
Johnny. Penny's like, Johnny, don't you get mixed up with those guests. You know what happens. And then Johnny goes to Baby, gives the dumb guy monologue about the women. They only want him for sex. And Neil, who's the activities, he's taking charge of the activities.
Right.
And he says to Johnny, I was thinking we mix it up with the dance number. And Johnny gets excited. He's like, let's do something really special. I've been thinking of this really neato dance. And Neil's like, hey, don't get ahead of your skis, son.
He's like, you're in over your head. He's like, bitch, you're in over your head.
I was thinking we do the pachanga. And Johnny's like, the pachanga?
No, that's not what he says.
Yes, he does.
No, he's like, all right, Neil, this year we'll end the season with the pachanga. Yeah, he pointedly says it a different way, but he says it a lot more somber. This is a big deal moment.
Yeah, although Johnny, take it from someone who is a freelancer, who does works for hire. You're getting paid for services rendered. You don't have to put so much of yourself into it. Johnny then says to Baby that his dad called him and said he could get him a very solid and stable middle-class union job, but he rejects this because he just wants to dance. And
he wants to rise above his station.
But he could as a union painter. Like that's
he didn't know what he had, boy.
My God. Yeah, he'd be almost a millionaire. And now there's like very unconvincing sort of conflict brewing between them because he's like, you won't tell your dad about me.
Well, yeah, it's the whole tension of the entire movie. Like, I'm good for fun. I'm a spectacle. I'm good for a good time. I'm not good to keep. I've never been good to keep for anyone.
But then he forgets about it very quickly because she kisses his shoulder.
No.
And then he
shushes about it, but he doesn't forget.
And then Robbie sees them. And he's like, look, it looks like I picked the wrong sister. And Johnny cleans his clock, beats him up.
And then this is the very effective talk that Baby goes and has with her dad, I think, where the dad is under the, well, whatever. She goes up and she's just sick of the silent treatment. And
wait, no, we forgot very crucial thing. Johnny has been accused of being a thief.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
And
right. And
how does this all happen?
Okay. So can't remember who says that they saw Johnny doing whatever, but Baby realizes the only way to save Johnny from getting fired, because she knows this job is very important to him, is to tell the truth, which is that she was in his room all night long. So he couldn't have stolen a wallet at 3 a.m. during a pinochle game. It
was like this other lady in another cabin who I didn't know, who saw Baby coming out of Johnny's cabin and looks offended. That's
who it was. It was, that is the lady he's dancing with in the gazebo. She just doesn't have makeup on. That's the bungalow bunny, right? She sees Baby leaving Johnny's cabin and they kiss goodbye. And then she's like, fuck that. He's my piece of butthole. Yeah, he's mine. He's mine. So I'm going to frame him. I'm going to get him kicked. It's just a real Karen fucking thing to do. I mean, she's just like, I want him fired. Not having any kind of idea of what does that really mean to him? So anyway, Baby makes another quick and morally correct decision, which is to be like, no, he was with me. And then that's when the dad figures out, okay, I told her not to hang out with those guys anymore. She's doing more than hanging out. What the fuck? And he goes and sulks by the water.
Yeah, he's basically found out my virginal daughter, not a virgin anymore. And so he goes and sits in the gazebo, and it is framed. He's the way he's sitting in a chair with his feet up on another chair. It is framed to look like he's holding a shotgun.
It's on purpose?
I don't know if it's on purpose, but multiple shots, it looks like he's holding a shotgun.
Yeah, I see it.
It's funny because he's going to shoot Johnny in the face.
I always thought it was just a really believable thing. He just wants to feel comfort, so he's just grabbing all the chairs. I'm going to sit like I want, damn it.
I understand the need to put your feet up on a chair.
Oh, thanks.
A Baby then confronts him and he's like, Dad. She's like, Dad,
stop making fun of everything.
That's what we do on the podcast.
Not this movie.
Not this movie.
That's what the
This is a silly movie. This is what our podcast is. You make fun of the movies. We have fun.
We're getting a divorce.
I've been having so much fun in this episode, and you're just like, no.
Because it's the fucking reason there are certain movies that you just don't touch. Because I don't want them to be victims of yours. I want them
I like this movie.
You're a victim.
This is a fun movie, and it's a silly movie, and it's
this movie
kind of shabby movie.
Like Lisa. And this movie is a baby. Baby tells...
Wait, if we can't do voices of characters, we have no show.
I think it's funny that I don't like what you're doing. It's the point.
Okay.
God, get with the program.
So Baby very somberly says, Father, you are mad at me, but you're giving me the shot. You haven't talked to me in 3 hours, and it's unacceptable. And you lied. You said I lied to you, and I did. But you lied to me because you told me that you were this great man, tolerant and accepting and welcoming of everybody. But it's not true. This is all a little melodramatic. I think that Baby's dad will get over this in about 2 days. So just kind of let it ride. But it's nice. I think Jerry Orbach plays this very well.
Wait, this is her moment while it's raw and fresh for her to say, look, you are not innocent in this, Dad. It was smart. It was well played. I don't know that she totally gets away with it, but he cries.
Yeah, and I like that the scene cuts right as he starts to cry. He has a little emotional connection. Just I think you guys will all be fine no matter what. It's okay.
They went into the Kellerman strong. They're going to leave it strong too.
Yes.
And she's about to leave the nest. That's the larger picture is just he's realizing he can't control her future. He has tried to put her in exactly the right path that he wants. And she's been given this much freedom, the run of the grounds of this freaking resort. Hasn't even gone to college yet. And okay.
Anyway,
right.
It's a misunderstanding.
Okay. Anyway, so now Johnny feels like he needs to do his part because he now knows that Dr. Hausman knows baby was with him and probably sexing. So he just Hail Mary he knows he's fired anyway. Let me just go see if I can like shake this guy's hand and let him know I'm not a horrible guy. He doesn't really get a chance to say anything, but Dr. Hausman does, and he is saucy. Anyway, he treats him like crap. It doesn't do any good. It just kind of like puts the nail in the coffin for Johnny. Like, yeah, okay. It doesn't even matter if baby vouches for me. This guy will never accept me. It's what I thought. It's what he whenever you get the confirmation of the thing you already believed, it's easy to walk away from that. That's why Johnny is now leaving. Not just because he's fired, but because he's like, well, nope, there's nothing here. Bye.
And how ironic that is he's trying to say like, Dr. Hausman, you don't know the real me. Mm-hmm. He just fires it right back. You don't know nothing about me, son.
Right.
People, we just need to talk to each other. We need to listen.
Right. He walked all the way over to your cabin in his high-heeled boots. Why didn't you let him talk, doctor? Now it's the talent show. It's the end. It's the orgasm of the whole movie. And this is when Dr. Hausman finds out, goes to give Robbie a big envelope of cash, and Robbie's like, thanks for helping with Penny, and I guess girls fuck, huh? And Dr. Hausman is disgusted and goes and sits down.
Snatches the envelope back.
Snatches it back. No money for you, piece of shit. And they go sit down and they're watching the boring ass fucking closing. Show. Oh my God. You can tell it's very believable, right? Like the end number is a whole like chorus about Kellerman's.
Kellerman, what a man,
Stop
what
it.
A man.
Voices, hearts, and hands at Kellerman's. And I love that Lisa's always singing after she's supposed to be not singing. Anyway, guess who walks in?
Johnny. And he goes and he says, nobody puts baby in a corner.
Which he hated that line. It is a weird thing he probably just walked up and was like, what do I say?
I mean, if it's one of the famous movie lines, I think people usually say nobody puts baby in the corner. But it's a specific, it literally has to have her in a corner for it to make sense, but it's just transcended the movie. And now my third time watching this movie that Laci thinks I hate, but I actually kind of like. This time I thought that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
When he says that.
He stands up to the dad.
And just for somebody saying it about you, not only standing up for you, but saying like, this fucking girl's cool as hell.
Right. And quit babying her. And that's why he says Frances Hausman when he introduces her.
He does, yes. Good for him.
Well, because that whole thing
and
is
I'm
like...
John Castle.
Everyone call me J-Dog from now on. But that is his whole thing is like, you don't see who she is. You see who you want her to stay. And so don't put this baby away in your little, playpen. And this is Francis, y'all.
But he interrupts the big Kellerman. What a man. He's a good guy. And this place is great.
Stop.
Why?
Aren't you trying to torture me? So I'm being tortured.
Yeah, Johnny takes the mic and he's like, sorry, everyone, to ruin the entertainment, but I have a few things to get off my chest. And now he, reads his manifesto. And then, this lady's Frances Hausman and she's great. And now we're going to do our dance.
And it's the best. It's the fucking best ever. And they do the dance and they do all the steps and she's just really feeling it because it's her gugum is happening. And they do the lifts and it's beautiful and perfect. Mm-hmm. And then everybody dances. And it's right after Kellerman says to Tito that everything's changing. Trips to Europe is what the kids want. How are we going to keep doing this? And it's in that moment. And I thought they should have had a Dirty Dancing too, that he realizes this is what people want. This just got everybody to stand up. Dancing in a less, conservative way. Let's not do just traditional stuff. What if we could be known for being more fun here? and inclusive. And I mean, I think that's what you're supposed to
but
from.
Oh yes, but it's a fantasy. It's like
completely.
We don't actually.
Right.
We would never live in that world where the upper crust are happy with the riffraff coming in and dancing with them.
No, that's not what I mean. I mean, we get more riffraff in here. We do more dirty stuff.
Yes, I know, but it's the upper crust who pay the bills, and what they want, they get. And if they want things to be conservative, look at the country we live in.
I'm just saying that maybe there's more dirty options, not that it just changes the entire club.
I wrote that in my notes that there should be like a deleted scene where we see Marty McFly is like off stage and he's a time traveler who's like, here's the song we're going to play from the 80s. Yeah, your kids are going to love it. That's the movie.
Yeah.
So would Johnny and Baby have ended up together, Laci?
No. And I think the director knew that. Patrick Swayze certainly took it as that it's a ill-fated romance, that it's meant to be a summer romance, but it was probably something really important to both of them for their whole lives. It's just, you can't kill Johnny because you're not in a flood, but if this
were on a boat, he would have
died. He had to die. Yeah. It's just better if he's dead. I really got sad about it this time, though, thinking about that they really wouldn't.
Okay, let's talk about this.
I think it's the first time I realized I'm supposed to understand this is not the rest of their lives. This isn't who they are. He wants to do bigger things. He wants to keep going. He wants to see himself rise above his station, as I said. And she's got big hopes and dreams that aren't being a housewife. I went 39 years thinking that was a perfect love story that makes sense. And I don't know why. This is what I'm saying. This is a movie that truly feels like a family member. I feel like I thought my mom and dad were fated for each other and they have a perfect romance. This is not true life. This is what I'm saying about the movie. And then I realized, they forced a marriage. They were never right for each other. They shouldn't have been together. I can still love them. I just have to love them separately. Why? And then I started thinking about Patrick Swayze actually being dead and Jennifer Grey's career being ruined and her nose being gone. And I just kind of spiraled. Also, I hadn't been sleeping that well.
It's good for romances to end when you're young. You want to marry the person you went to summer vacation with when you were 18?
Right. You want to reconnect with Johnny later after you guys have done what you needed to do. Then you shut up. Anyway, come on, Matt.
Come on, Laci. Yeah, so we said, Johnny, he can't get his job with the union. He's cheating on Baby serially. She votes for Nixon in 72.
Stop with the fake fucking future. Mine was perfectly fine. Yours always gets real political.
Laci?
Yeah.
What are your final thoughts on Dirty Dancing?
I was absolutely right to love this movie. I love it even more now. I'll love it forever. I had the time of my life.
Star rating?
5. I don't know what I gave it on Letterboxd. Either 4 or 4.5. I can't remember. It's not a perfect 5. Even my favorite movies aren't always going to get a 5 because I get it. I think that's what makes it even nicer because you love your family members even if they're not perfect. That's my final thought.
Have you seen Dirty Dancing Havana Nights?
I did once, and I think I deleted it because fuck that. Just call it something else, and then have Patrick Swayze make a cameo as a dance instructor. It doesn't have to be Dirty Dancing.
Well, then no one would see it.
I know.
So my final thoughts. My final thoughts are this. I certainly appreciated this movie way more than 7 years ago. I don't think it's a particularly good movie, but it is doing a lot of things that, get people like Laci real horned up. So it's doing something right. I mean, you compared it to Twilight, and I was thinking about Twilight as this very chaste sort of romance, although I feel, not necessarily in the Twilight books, but in the Twilight movies, I definitely feel Edward and Bella and their yearning for each other way more than I do in this movie.
Sure.
But I like the politics of the movie, or at least the pro-choice politics of the movie, and the dance sequences are well filmed, and I think Swayze and Grey are very charming, and Jerry Orbach is very sweet, and 3 stars, 3 out of 5. It's a recommend.
Yay!
It's a light recommend. I watched Flashdance and Footloose earlier this year, and I prefer this to either of those.
Yes.
And I think I prefer it to Grease as well, which
Fuck yes.
What's the common denominator? Just movies that have
dancing. I'll take
dancing.
it.
Singing in the Rain, I prefer to this though.
Oh, you had to end it there.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to call this a mini mailbag. Bella in Film, someone who is a mutual on TikTok, actually responded to a post that I made of our mailbag episode where we were answering questions, and she very lovely wanted to have a question answered by us, and that's just so sweet. So literally ask us questions, whatever you want, and we'll just do them at the end of the episode like we are right here. And her question was, plus also follow her on TikTok, is what film made your favorite cinema experience? I like this question a lot because it makes you have to think about something that isn't necessarily your favorite movie, but taking it on the whole package. So Matt, why don't you answer?
We discussed this on our episode we did about Signs, about M. Night Shyamalan's Signs a few months ago. That is the one that stands out to me when I saw it in 2002 in a theater very late at night on vacation. And I remember, one, I love the movie, but two, being in a theater and that movie uses sound and everybody in the theater just being so quiet and so on edge. That specific experience stands out as like, hey, it's important to go see movies in theaters. That will affect the experience separate from how good the movie is itself.
And I hear like Skidamarink, which I refuse to watch, is another one where it's like, if you're not in the theater, you better have headphones because it's so much about the sound.
Yeah, I think horror movies, it's always good to watch with headphones because they're so sound dependent. The other one is not based on the quality of the movie, though it's a fine film, is you and I went on a date early in our relationship to go see Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. And I remember we stopped at a hotel bar to get some wine.
Ooh,
Can you imagine that?
No.
Just met up and got some wine. Got a drink of wine.
Wait, we weren't like living together yet? We met up?
No, we weren't living together.
Oh,
Again, we had just started dating.
Oh, I usually move in right away.
No.
Okay.
We just met up at the Columns Hotel in Uptown New Orleans, and then we went to the Britannia Theater in Uptown New Orleans.
Very uppity.
It was a very
bougie
nice
date.
Okay.
It's a very uptown experience.
What about you, Laci?
Well, thanks for asking. So I don't remember much of the movie. I just remember having the best time, and I'm sure it was due to the wine I was also drinking, but it was Moneyball. And maybe because we went to kind of a cool theater, was that the Canal Place Theater, yep. Right? It's just, it's like, you know, you can order dinner and stuff, and they come bring you stuff, but now there's so many like that, but this was unique at the time. And I had ordered some drinks, and by the end of the movie, I stood up and sang. I hope other people were singing.
No one was singing.
No one else was singing.
No, you're not used to seeing a movie, and in the movie there's a baseball game and they play the national anthem, and some drunk lady in the crowd in the audience stands up and starts singing really loud. And the home of the brave.
That sounds charming as hell. But to make it even weirder, I then turned that song into a Say Anything song.
Yeah. Into a song by an obscure band called Say Anything.
Who we love.
Like, the home of the baby girl, I'm a blur. What?
Okay, so that happened, and
it was fun.
It was fun for me, not for Matt, apparently, but I still remember it very fondly. I'm sorry to all the people that were in that theater. Also, I've never done anything else like that ever again. That's not like a thing of mine. Anyway, and then the Harry Potter one. Because it was an old theater, people got dressed up. It's just, like, if the theater's into it, it just makes it so much more interesting. I think because we always try to go to movies when our kids are in school or other places, we end up going to movies at, like, not peak times. And so we don't really get that peak energy. So
yeah, I think
you get it.
This is like, hey, remember when we didn't have kids? Well, we had one. You had a kid.
Half a kid.
But, you know, not that night. So
that's right, baby.
That's where the good memory comes from. Kids are such a blessing.
No offense, kid.
And no offense, kids, if you're listening.
You know, all of you. Yeah. Also, where are your parents? Don't listen to this. We're very mature.
All right. We're going to do our closing now. Remember to follow
and
us.
The home. The app. Mm-hmm.
Remember to follow us on all of our social medias. You can follow us on Twitter at loadbearingpod, Instagram loadbearingbeams, TikTok load.bearing.beams, YouTube loadbearingbeamspod. I'm on Letterboxd at MattStokes9. Laci, you're on Letterboxd at
Load Bearing Laci.
Yay. And you can listen to my band's album, The Joy of Averages. You'll hear many of the songs that are featured on
Or you have heard.
Load Bearing Beams.
Actually,
Well, you
throughout the
have heard it,
episode.
and then you'll just hear it going forward because you're going to keep listening.
Right. And you're going to buy the album soon.
Anything else? Any other closing thoughts?
That does it. Okay.
That does it.
Love you. Bye.
Three, four. Everybody, love me.